Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Forest River No Boundaries 19.3 travel trailer. I'm here to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A couple things to take into consideration when parking. On your campsite, you have plenty of room for that big old awning to get out. And on your off campsite, I want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your water campsite's going to be right toward the front of the unit, and then your power is going to be all the way in the rear on your off campsite or driver's side of your tow vehicle. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive and unhook your hitch, first thing we do is level your unit. Now your unit does come with a power tongue jack. Simply raise or lower the unit until you're level. You have a night docking light and a manual override for a hand crank that will bring this up and down. Speaking of power, check your battery posts now and then. Make sure those haven't wiggled loose going down the road. Now we got our unit level. Let's go ahead and stabilize it. All four corners of the unit have these stabilizing jacks and 3/4 inch hand crank. Run these down. As I do, I'm going to recommend jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris and hot blacktop in summer. You got a 10% coupon. I recommend you use that when you pick up the trailer. And you're just going to want to run these down just until they're taut. You can use an impact driver or a drill gun if you're a little impatient, but if you're patient, as you see quickly they run down, and you only want to run these down until you've got some resistance on your hand crank. Remember, our unit's already stable. We just are already level. We just want to stabilize it. All right, got our unit level and stable. Let's go ahead and hook up our power and water. Come around to the back corner. Got this big long 30 amp cord. The way the short cord goes on is have this black handle. Goes into the left a little bit, wiggle it on, and then turn it to the right, and then put on your black washer. Now at the end of that 30 amp service, should you need to plug into a 110, your convenience pack will have a 30 to 15 amp reducer. Got your power hooked up, took up your water. Now at campsites, we're going to plug up to city water connection. First and foremost, your water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in your unit. Always use this when putting fluid in your unit because you don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites. City water connection, hook up your hose, but don't turn your hose on yet. Right down here to your right is your hot water heater. And all we're doing at this point, folks, is make sure our drain plug's back in. Throw some plumber's tape around that. Tape is preferred, not putty. Putty will gum up. Get that in there with an 1/8" socket. Once that's in there nice and tight, you can go ahead and turn that hose on. After the hose been on for a little bit, go inside and open up your water taps. Get a nice steady flow of water going through everything. Get all the air out of the lines. Once that's done, shut them off, and then when you can turn on this hot water heater from indoors. You'll know it's full by all the air being out of your lines. Now there is an on-off electric element down here. Leave that to off unless you're hooked up to 110. It's the only time you ever want to turn this on out here. And then if your hot water heater doesn't seem to be working, check these reset buttons. If they're bubbled up, just press them back in. So let's say we're gonna go camping and we're not gonna use city water. we're gonna go boondocking or dry camping. In that case, we'll just fill up our freshwater tank. No need for a water pressure regulator here. You can gravity fill this with a hose. 2 ways to tell when it's full. 1, there's an overflow valve right here. And 2, on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tank, there's also a freshwater button. Hold that down when filling this. Have someone watch it. Don't leave this unattended while you're filling it. Once it is full, remove your hose and put your cap back on, and then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when hooked up to city water. That's already pressurized. Alright, we're all set with camp and power and water. I'm going to go ahead and walk you around to the rest of the unit, starting here on your off-camp side. We've got our big pass-through storage here. Freshwater connection, city water connection, freshwater drain. It's your hot water heater again. Underneath here is your low point drain. That is a vent for your microwave. A flue for your furnace. 2 things on that. 1, make sure you're never blocked. And 2, if you are running your furnace, don't get in front of it. It gets rather hot. Black tank flush. We'll talk about that when we dump our black and gray tanks. Power back here. Cable and satellite hookup. Your spare tire. I recommend getting a cover for this. Keeps it from dry rotting. Got a ladder, utilize it. Go up there a couple times a year, check the seams of your roof and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. You also prepped for a backup camera. Device you purchased from our store, it sets on the dash of your tow vehicle. Another device attaches to this, giving you a backup camera for the unit. On our campsite, our awning has a pitch adjust. Hypothetically, picnic table's down here, it's raining, you want the rainwater to come this way. Pull down on that pitch adjust and that will tilt the rainwater this way. Coming down our campsite, we got some storage in there. Show you from the inside. We have a table, a holder, and a grill that'll fit on here. It's in your storage, I'll show you that in a moment. And right here's your quick connect LP for that. A couple of 110s out here. A spray port area for this spray hose. That'll hook up there. Just want to wash the unit off. Got a porch light up there. Awning lights. Again, your pass-through storage with your big griddle. And then there's your table to stand down in there. Coming up to the front, your battery posts again, check those every now and then, make sure those haven't wiggled loose going down the road. Your propane does come with a regulator, lefty-loosey to open. Up front here is your battery disconnect. This will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. That'll come important here in a few when I talk about your carbon monoxide propane detector. And that about covers everything out here. Let's go take a look on the inside. Alright, so coming up inside the unit, first thing I always like to point out is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camped with you knows the fire extinguisher is located by the entry doorway. To our left, all the way up top, is going to be an awning extend, your awning lights, a porch light, and interior lights. On your awning, and you're only going to want to run that awning out until you see that flap fall down to 90 degrees and you can see your brown bar. That will continue to run itself out past that point, flip itself up backwards and start to run itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you run it out. Make sure you don't run it out further than you need to. Pull that, some more lighting. Run the awning in real quick. And as it comes in, I'll continue the tour. So to our right immediately is going to be a 110 with GFCI reset, a couple of USB ports, your inverter. This is some lighting for in here. Turn your bed into a sofa into a bed. Jackknife your sofa down. Go up top here. Fold that down. Bring your mattress down with it. And just that quickly, you've got a bed. with lighting on the sides. USB port on each side. More accent lighting here. Another 110. You got your sink. Above your cooktop you got a light and a fan. This is a stick lighter light. Cooktop. Self-explanatory microwave. Down below that to your right is your vacuum system. So if you sweep everything up here, get that up and it'll suck it all out. Or you can hook up your vacuum hose here, turn that on over here. Continuing to my left across the floor is going to be your breaker box enthusiast. A 40, a 30, 7.5, handful of 15s, quite a variety in here. Highly recommend having some of those with you when you go camping. Which next brings us to my 12 volt carbon monoxide propane detector. Now the reason I mention this 12 volt, it's always running off your battery. So if you are out boondocking, dry camping somewhere, and nothing plugged in charge your battery, use that battery disconnect up front if you're going to be gone for the whole day to keep this running your battery down. Up above here is your fridge. Controls for that are up top. Turn that on here. You do need to hold that in for about 3-4 seconds. Got to turn on. So here's where you can raise it and lower it. So whatever's white is what you're controlling. For example, right here we're on the freezer. Keep that at 5. The fridge, 4 or even 3. And then this last one's in night mode. That's just telling the fridge, hey, I'm not going to be opening and closing you. Could you save me some power? And it does so. Continuing back here is your heat exhaust. Back in our bathroom, couple things to mention. You have a hand crank open exhaust vent in here. And here's your Go Power solar controller. So this is your Go Power solar control panel. The whole purpose of this is to keep your solar panels from overcharging your batteries. There's not a battery on here right now, that's why it's reading 601. But I will send you a separate video specifically from GP Electric, and they'll explain everything about this. Your only concern is you just have to make sure that it's on the proper battery. Coming out of the bathroom, our bunk area, both have their own individual one-touch lighting and USB ports up here as well. As you see by the fold in the bed down here, this and the bottom of the board of the bed out here will fold up and store with the board holding down there where the hook is, and that'll give you storage from outdoors. Also storage underneath your bunk, so lots of storage in that area. Your tabletop will remove from these legs. Set your top down on these top pieces here. Put your flat cushions on top. Another sleeping quarters. Your smoke alarm. Back here in the corner is your thermostat. Turn on your fan. Turn on the AC here real quick. Show you that running. Turn that off. So you have cool, high and low, auto, whatever temperature you set it at, heat. You'll notice that when you do run your heat, when you shut your heat off, it takes a few minutes for the heat fan to cycle through before it shuts off. Up here above that are some control panels. Up top, these are heated holding tank system. These are little 12 volt pads that are on your tanks. You can turn these on if you're in inclement weather. Don't turn them on in empty tanks. Down here below is where you turn on your water heater. Here's where you turn on your water pump if you're using potable water. Here's where you see your brand new battery if it's plugged in or plugged in. Your fresh black and gray tanks. Fresh water button's the one I said to hold down when filling your potable water. That about covers everything on the inside. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. Now this bed can go as this or as a sofa, either one, but I like to shut off all of my lighting from here. Then I can walk around and see all the individual lighting, all this one-touch lighting. Then I need to walk through and shut off. In your bathroom, you want to make sure that your vent is closed. Got all of my interior and exterior lighting off. Porch light off. We can exit the unit. Now for these steps, bringing them down or closing them, you want to make sure this exterior door is all the way open. You lift these up. You do have adjustable feet. You simply press in on these and lift this up and down. Lock that in there. Now before you leave the campsite, I say that in case you want to go in here and look at your levels of your tanks on your control panel. Before you leave the campsite, lock and deadbolt your door. Lift and turn this handle so that door is secure for travel. All right, if we are out boondocking, we are going to go up underneath and open up our freshwater drain. Dump that freshwater tank. Once that's done, bring up your stabilizing jacks and head on home. Everywhere else, unhook your cable, your power, your water, bring up your stabilizing jacks, hook up your hitch, and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump's gonna be just behind your tires on your off-camp side or driver's side of your tow vehicle. Park accordingly. You got a 10-foot hose, comes your convenience pack. Hook that up, put that on and twist it to the right. Put the other end in your dump and pull your black handle down here. Wastewater holding tank. That's your black handle. Once it sounds like this no longer draining, go inside and check your panel. If the panel shows it's empty, leave that black handle open. Grab the hose at the dump station. Come up here to this black tank flush. I do recommend using your water pressure regulator again and turn that on. That's going to turn on the sprayer. It's going to clean out your black tank. Wash that out, get all that nastiness out of there. When that's done, take off your hose for after about at least 5 minutes. Remove that hose, make sure all that washout water you put in there has drained. Then you close your black handle. Pull your gray handle. While that gray handle is draining, I'm going to come up underneath here for our low point drain. Open up both of those. When those are done, if you're done for the season, come up here to your hot water heater. We're going to lift up on this pressure release valve. That's going to dump some hot water out of there, so be careful. When that's done, push that back down, otherwise your door won't close. And then you can pull your drain plug for your residual water down here. Make sure that's secure for travel as well. Come back down, see if your gray is empty. If it is, close your gray, pull your sewage hose, and conveniently and sanitarily store it right here in your bumper. And head on home. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this no-boat for many years to come. Happy camping.